Steve Cocker, the race one winner, starts on pole position for the second race in the Cooper S field. Scott Adam alongside him with Tim Porter third, and Brad Hutchinson is fifth on the grid in the Cooper class. Max Bladen, the points leader, at the head of the field. Rob Austin starting very quickly in the all-black car as the front row men race side by side, wheel to wheel through the first turn. Max Bladen, though, making another sterling start ahead of Simon Walton, the yellow car, Brad Hutchinson. So in the Cooper class, if you're on the low side of the grid, you have gone ahead quite nicely. This is Sam Weller, started in third place on the grid, and now he's down to sixth, maybe seventh place as they get to the hairpin for the first time. All arms and elbows, number 4 machine in front of him. Michael Bamber made a good start. That's the black car with the yellow cross. There is Sam Weller, number 6, the white car. 117, Brad Hutchinson in front of him. Cooper S is breaking away from the Cooper class. Max Bladen still the leader in the pale blue from Simon Walton, the yellow car. Brad Hutchinson up to third place, right off the line, and hangs on to that position. Behind him, Michael Bamber, then the red car with the white roof. Car number 17, that's Josh Golin, ahead of Sam Weller. So a few changes from the grid order. But again, Max Bladen, the class of the field so far in the Coopers, right from the very beginning of the season. And he continues to set the pace here. Yellow car of Will Neal, right alongside us as we ride on board with Owen Walton. 2 into 1, just about getting away with that. Walton with a little wider run round the line. You can see in his mirror, Will Neal's going to have to drop back. Here is our race leader, though, Scott Adam, the blue and orange machine. Steve Cocker behind him in second place. Then Rob Austin in third and looking low, diving down on the inside. That's a good early attack here. Now, the car on the outside has got better momentum as you scrub a bit more off the tyres when you dive to the inside. And that didn't work for Rob Austin, but shows great thinking that he's trying something different. Behind him, with the Italian colours, is Carlito Moracco. There you can see the Italian coloured bonnet. He's in fourth place. In fifth position, Tim Porter, the red and black car, and Scott Jeffs in sixth position. So Scott Adam with the lead, and Steve Cocker under pressure from Rob Austin. Austin throwing the car around, looking for some way to get through. Back with Sam Weller in the Cooper class, right in front of him, number 17, Josh Golin, and then the number 4 car in front of both of them, and that is Michael Bamber. The yellow square with the black cross on Michael Bamber's car, that shows that he is still a rookie, so his first season of racing this will be. Doing a good job to stay in front of these fellow young chargers as they dice. Weller got down the inside and ran out too wide. Josh Golin got back in front of him. And they are from the outside, and right behind them at the moment, James Goodall, the number 47 machine. It's all happening in front of him. Might be thinking twice about getting involved in this little battle, actually. Up against the wall comes Michael Bamber. And behind him, number 17, Josh Golin. Max Bladen still leading the Cooper class. And Bamber, very interesting use of the high line there. He clearly feels very comfortable up near the wall, and he has worked out that if he goes high, he's actually, although he's covering a little bit more ground, he's got a bit better view of where he's going. Still locks up down into the hairpin, drifts out wide, and Josh Golin's going to have a little attack. Oh, he's alongside him, but Bamber has the inside line, and so he holds on. Bamber, for all his rookie status, showing a great deal of thinking racecraft here. Golin with his nose on the inside, makes contact, and again, and Bamber trying to make some room for himself. Golin really asked for that to happen, put himself halfway alongside Bamber, and then tried to turn in. The stewards will still want to get them all up to have a word about driving standards, I imagine. Sam Weller wriggled through the whole group. There's Owen Walton, and he has got Will Neal behind him. On board with Owen Walton. In front you can see trailing a mirror, Josh Golin. His left hand mirror has been knocked askew in the contact. And these cars, as you can see with the traditional H-pattern gearbox. They don't have the sequential shifters of the JCW machines. The Coopers with 135 horsepower or so from their 1.6 litre normally aspirated fuel injected engines, so really quite close to the standard road car. Roll cage bolted, and of course suspension changes, uprated brakes and everything else to make them even more lively and entertaining than the standard road Mini Cooper, with an aero pack as well to give them that bit of extra grip. So this is where all the entertainment is coming from in the Cooper class. White car, Sam Weller again diving deep down to the inside. Michael Bamba gets in low, shallow and late, and I'm afraid runs out of road on the exit. Well, this is what you do when you're a rookie. You try different things and then sort of try and sift out what works and what doesn't. And for Bamba, that didn't work. In fact, Owen Walton got by him as well. Meanwhile, Sam Weller and Josh Golin, who were second and fourth on the grid, are now back at it again. On board with Owen Walton. You can see in these cars still got the standard dash, the padded dash roll, all the ventilation eyeballs and everything else. Even the centre console remains in place from the standard Mini road car. And there is Michael Bamba. Been very entertaining to watch so far. James Goodall behind him. Goodall trying to work out a safe way past the rookie. A little further back, Luke Chard-Maple and Will Neal. Max Bladen still leading in the Cooper class, ahead of Simon Walton and the yellow car of Brad Hutchinson. The 5-second penalty being handed out to Sam Weller. It's flying off the cars after earlier rubs. That looked like a bit of the wheel arch there from Max Bladen's car. Or did he run over somebody else's debris? On board with Brad Hutchinson. Let's take a ride down then into the hairpin from maximum speed down to pretty much the slowest corner on the circuit. Quite as tight as Tarzan. You carry a bit more speed in there. Still pretty intimidating. Trying to brake as late as you dare, not shoot on straight around the oval. Brad Hutchinson and Simon Walton both working really hard here to make sure the Max Bladen can't escape. But staying with him is one thing, finding it very hard to get by. Simon Walton's been in second since the first corner. And these cars, like their bigger brothers and sisters, picking their wheels up under braking and under cornering particularly. All the weight shifting to the front, and the stiffly sprung suspension lifting up the unladen inside wheel. Walton with a run going here. You can see why the sort of little additional mud guards come loose, can't you? Bit of wheel-to-wheel rubbing. Oh, and Walton nearly had it there. Contact with Bladen. He was trying to avoid that. Bladen bounces up in the air and wriggling through Brad Hutchinson. Well, Simon Walton, I thought, had given them enough room to survive. Max Bladen continues. He comes across the line there as the black and white flag for driving standards is being handed out to somebody. Now, is that Simon Walton? It certainly won't have been for that very most recent incident. From Brad Hutchinson's view, watch Walton on the outside. See, now Bladen needed to be giving him more room there. Instead, he just cut him off right in the middle of the corner. Oh, trouble down at the hairpin. What's this? James Goodall's gone sailing off. So too 25 Nathaniel Golin. The rear tailgate was open on Michael Bamba's car, so has there been some collisions on the banking? You can see there, number 17, Josh Golin, with damage on just about every body panel on the car. Sam Weller squeezing through. Right behind them, Owen Walton. This is the battle for fourth place in the Cooper class. Max Bladen, Simon Walton, Brad Hutchinson, our lead trio still together. It does look as though Sam Weller is easing away. Oh, hang on, that's the race leader, Scott Adam. He's gone off as well. And trouble under the bonnet of Nathan Golin's car. They were looking there with a fire extinguisher. Has his car blown up? Oh, and Sam Weller is off. Now, has somebody laid oil all the way round the circuit and more trouble? And this could really be trouble for the race director. That's Tim Porter gone sailing off at the hairpin. And the red flag is out, and I'm not surprised. Cars going off inexplicably everywhere. Well, Max Bladen managed to keep it on the island. If it all happened behind him, perhaps that's not a surprise. So the results declared after 8 completed laps. Scott Adam, the winner in the Cooper S-Class, as he was on the road there, and Max Bladen also claims victory in the Coopers. Well, a bizarre way for the race to end. Let's hear how our winners saw it.
After 4 or 5 second places, obviously I'm chuffed a bit of a win. Don't know what happened that last lap. I had a bit of a gap, thought just got hit by markers. Went down the back straight, hit the brakes, and the car just went straight on. I don't know if there's something down on the track. But yeah, it got really leery on that last lap, so I'm quite glad they red flagged it. And obviously, I made a mistake and dropped back to third, so that's done me a favour. So yeah, really happy.
Yeah, it was a really difficult race. I think the other two put a new tyre on and we were still using the old tyre. But yeah, a really difficult race. It was an enjoyable one, definitely. Had to do a lot of work to keep it at the front, but thankfully we're still here, so we're still doing something right.
Scott Jeffs on pole for the final Cooper S race at Rockingham. He leads the Cooper S class ahead of Carlito Morocco, and the man on pole in the Coopers is Josh Golin. But in front of championship leader Max Bladen, there is a gap where there is no Simon Walton. See Bladen's car there on the left, already pointing downhill, as everybody does when you start on the uphill side. Good getaway from Scott Jeffs, the pole man, green and black, of Steve Cocker dropping in behind him. And then our race 2 winner, Scott Adam, made a great getaway. Pole man Josh Golin leading Brad Hutchinson, and third place Max Bladen. Bladen with Michael Bamber right on his back bumper though. And the Cooper S's all make it through just as Carlito Morocco went out very wide. A little bit more controlled. I'll take that back. No more controlled at all from the Cooper class. Cars buzzing everywhere as they get to the hairpin for the first time. Josh Golin still in front of Brad Hutchinson. There's Owen Walton, started in 5th on the grid. He's right behind Michael Bamber. And Max Bladen just in front of him. So Bamber and Bladen benefiting from the absence of Simon Walton to move up a couple of spots. Walton in 5th position. You can see Bamber with the black car right in front of us, using a very different line to Max Bladen, leaving big black stripes as he gets it very sideways. Back with the leaders, Scott Jeffs in front, and second Tim Porter, because right at the back is the green and black car of Steve Cocker. Oh, and Golin right out wide on the dirt and the grass almost there, almost throwing away the lead of the class. I think he might have done. Looks like Brad Hutchinson got a very good run on him at the front of the field. Still lots of action behind. Brad Hutchinson did get a good run on him, but Josh Golin keeps the red and white car just in front. Max Bladen in 3rd. 4th place car number 4, Michael Bamber, and then 91 Owen Walton with Bladen now. Now Bladen has an unblemished record so far. 6 races, 6 wins. Is that all going to come tumbling down here? Brad Hutchinson looked to go the high side. Scott Jeffs leads from Tim Porter. 3rd is Rob Austin, flying off wide there. Carlito Morocco has still not quite got a handle on the best place to break off the banking. Up to 4th is 66, and that's Steve Cocker, ahead of our race 2 winner Scott Adam and Carlito Morocco. Well, Scott Jeffs keeping his nose in front of Tim Porter. And then Rob Austin. Austin just in front of us as we ride with Steve Cocker. Oh, he's got a bit of an overlap going. Can he stick it in the inside? He's going to. Oh, he's not really even in the same postcode as the Apex there, both in the middle of the road, but he wrestled it through, just managed to grab the place, and Austin has lost a bit of ground there. Now, right behind him, Scott Adam and Carlito Morocco. And here come the Coopers, Josh Golin, Brad Hutchinson. And then side by side, Max Bladen on the inside with the blue nose. Just ahead of number 4, Michael Bamber. 91, Owen Walton with inside him, James Goodall. On board with Max Bladen. Snatching shifts as they go up the gearbox and then back down. This is the left, right, left sequence that leads them out onto the speedway. It's kind of a strange thing to be doing in a Mini, isn't it? Racing on a 200 plus mile an hour speedway, but they don't use the entire thing for pretty obvious reasons. Not sure the tyres would survive no matter how good they are. They're not built for speedways. Not sure the drivers would survive either. Constantly turning left when you're not used to it would be very disorientating. Here is the lead battle though in the Coopers. Josh Golin, red and white, the traditional. Actually, the early Mini Coopers were red with a black roof, but the more familiar late racing Cooper colours. Owen Walton, James Goodall battling for 5th position. Side by side at the front of the field and behind as well. Oh, and trouble for Owen Walton. Where was he going? There was an overlap with James Goodall. That was never going to work. He didn't have enough room to take the racing line there. And as a result, I'm afraid he is in the wall. Josh Golin with Brad Hutchinson behind him. And then in 3rd place, Max Bladen, the orange rear of his blue nose car, ahead of Michael Bamber. So with Max Bladen still working hard to try and stay with Brad Hutchinson in front of him. And at the moment, I think he might be worrying slightly about where Michael Bamber is going to appear from. Well, now, again, the leaders take different lines as they come out of Tarzan. Golin runs the long way around the outside, covers more ground. Hutchinson has a tighter, shorter line, but leaves him on the outside as they get here. And again, Golin has the commanding position. Hutchinson just had to let him go. Oh, and Bladen's right there. Max Bladen tried to stick his nose on the inside. Scott Jeffs under pressure from Tim Porter for the lead of the race, right behind Steve Cocker. So the teammates are 2nd and 3rd now. And Scott Jeffs still with the novice cross on his car. Having a good run though at the front of the field. 2 Oakfield Motorsport cars right behind him. Cocker does like a harsh turn in, doesn't he? Really throws the car in at the apex and doesn't seem to be a bad way of going about it. He's using a lot more road. At the moment, Scott Jeffs being pretty defensive. Middle and leg, just keeping the car in the right place. And this time, no, not quite. Cocker got Tim Porter behind him, so we can't afford too many mistakes. And Porter showing his nose. So Cocker, who started the race in 2nd place, or got to the hairpin in 2nd behind Scott Jeffs, has now fought his way back from last in the group after an early error and challenging for the lead. Where's Tim Porter gone? Oh, Cocker out very wide there. Those big curbs you really can't take any liberties with. They'll take a wheel off as soon as look at you. The blue and white rumble stripping is all right, but those big orange sausages inside are very bad news indeed for car wheels and suspension. So Scott Jeffs with a slender lead. And whether Steve Cocker is more trying to get by Scott Jeffs or hold off Tim Porter kind of varies from corner to corner. Cocker goes high, Porter's coming in low, and Jeffs is in the middle. Oh, and that didn't work at all well. Once you drift out too far there, as Steve Cocker just showed, you start to lose grip. Now Max Bladen back at the front of this group because there is Josh Golin. He's in 3rd ahead of Michael Bamber. Bamber with a monster lockup, and that allows James Goodall not quite to get by, but to close in on him. James Goodall might have just had a bit of a lift there as Bamber flew across the grass. Bladen leads it from Hutchinson. Golin down to 3rd. Black car is Michael Bamber with the green highlights, 47 James Goodall. Then the yellow and black car of Will Neal. The very 1960s livery on his car. Not the yellow so much, but certainly the striping. Michael Bamber then. Well, we didn't see what happened to the leaders, but Bamber attacking for 3rd and Golin with tyre marks all over his car. You can tell it's been in the wars. And behind Bamber, James Goodall. And Will Neal might do well, maybe just to wait for something to happen between these two, because I think he's close enough to benefit. Max Bladen, Brad Hutchinson, Josh Golin now recovering from his drop back down the order. He's just easing away from this battle for 5th place. With the orange highlights, Scott Jeffs, 3rd position in the Cooper S class. Scott Adam behind him then, Rob Austin. And still entertainingly having a go is Carlito Miraco. There is your race leader, Tim Porter ahead of Steve Cocker. Squeezed by poleman Scott Jeffs. And Scott Adam, our race 2 winner. I wonder whether his tyres have really worked a little too hard. Doesn't seem to have the pace of the front runners. He's kind of stuck there with Rob Austin and Carlito Morocco. Scott Adam constantly under pressure here. Just doesn't have a moment to himself to relax, and that means that it's not helping the racing line either. He's using more road than he really needs to, or perhaps more accurately, not using as much as he really wants to, because of the presence of the black car of Rob Austin right behind him. Carlito Morocco. Ooh, Austin with the inside line. Is that going to work for him? Yes, it is. Too much of the door open from Scott Adam. Adam continues with momentum all the way the long way around the outside at Tarzan, and in fact he's coming back. He got a good exit there and he just squeezes in front of Rob Austin and around both of them. Carlito Morocco, does he get it through? Yes, he does. But Scott Adam still hanging on around the outside, and he had a better drive off the corner. And underneath both of them comes Rob Austin. So is Austin going to benefit from this? No, he's a little too low. Scott Adam will keep the momentum up. Rob Austin can't quite get the grip he needs low down. He's still there, and in fact now he is going to dominate down into the hairpin. He's on the grippy side. If he can get it to stop and turn, which he does, he grabs the place back once more. So the battle for fourth rages on. Max Bladen romping away now at the head of the Cooper field as the checkered flag is being prepared. So Bladen looking now to go 7 for 7, which now makes all the statisticians start asking, who was the last man to have a perfect season in British club racing? Tim Porter out of the final corner, heading towards victory in race 3 at Rockingham. Being chased by teammate Steve Cocker, but Cocker too far back in the end to do anything about it. It's victory for Tim Porter. Steve Cocker in second, and Scott Jeffs will take third position in a race that finished normally, i.e. with a checkered flag. Max Bladen, 7 for 7. Brad Hutchinson in second place. And coming to line on the podium in third will be Owen Walton, just ahead of the drag race. And Josh Golin just getting fourth from Will Neal by 26 thousandths of a second. So confirmation of our race results. Victory in race 3 in the Cooper S's for Tim Porter, and in the Coopers yet again for that man Max Bladen. Well, let's hear now from our Cooper S winner, and that is Tim Porter.
Yeah, he was catching the final 3 quarters of the race. Managed to lose him just at the end, but yeah, he was catching me. I kept seeing in the mirrors all the way around. It's driving me mad, but yeah, got there in the end. It was good, really good.
And continuing with his unbeaten streak, 7 wins in a row now for Max Bladen.
No, I feel like it's still waiting for the start of the season and this is dreamland, but yeah, it's amazing, and I couldn't do it without all the people who helped me.
Weekend of mixed fortunes in the Cooper S class. Top 4 covered by just 50 points, but Max Bladen considerably more than that, ahead of the second place man in Coopers, Josh Golin.